Hello, welcome to Wildcraft. I've not done a video update in a bit because I ended up smashing my phone whilst I was taking care of a bit of damage that had happened up the woods. The raised bed, the hugel culture, the wild garlic biochar beds, and a lot of the tree saplings got pulled up, and the logs chucked about everywhere. So on the very first day of the 6-week holidays, now we've got a photo of the people who were around at the time. So it kind of makes sense that it was them as well, with some other factors. But we've sorted that area, but I was rushing about and I dropped a bloody log on my screen. So it had to be addressed straight away. That's why I was rushing, because 6-week holiday, and then if people follow by example. So if there's lots of rubbish and logs and plants ripped up everywhere, then it doesn't look well, it looks like people just, it's a space that is meant to be disrespected, or just chuck litter everywhere and stuff like that. And you know, the more of that, it just goes up exponentially, because we've found that over time, if people if you make something look familiar, like a garden or an allotment, then people treat it like a garden or allotment. Now, in the woods, it's been like an ongoing process of, I've never ever got this on camera or written it down before, but I do say it a lot if you meet me in person. Like today, we've just finished the Wildcraft well-being walks, and Steve makes the routes for them. So I've explored a lot of Rosendale with foraging and just finding, like, do it on the Ogham quest, finding the 20 native sacred trees that the druids and the people of old held sacred as in they just use it for the building material, the medicine, the food, indicators of things that'll be happening throughout the year, and whatnot, because, you know, they were self-sufficient. They didn't rely on an external system or force or industry or Amazon to, you know, have a convenient delivery. Although today, Steve's just been telling us there's all these trenches everywhere, and they're the pack horse paths, and they've been used that much over time that the soil gets compacted and worn into these trenches, and the tradespeople would just go from farm to farm. So you would have the convenience of door-to-door delivery like we do have, but it'd be your local tradespeople and economy. You know, they had the means of production. So I didn't get to check any photos or do a video of the last every Wednesday. So the walks, the Wildcraft Wellbeing walks, every other Sunday, and then there's every Wednesday Wild Harvest Workday. Now, Wild Harvest Workday is about local land regeneration, and with the focus on self-sufficiency. So Wild Harvest, this foraging, it teaches you to view your local land and see the abundance of everything that's around, like sort of the spaces that aren't being used that could be used, and then the things on there. So in this allotment space, instead of getting a big lawnmower or strimmer and then chopping down all the weeds is what the soil wants to be, the local native ecology. We started on a communal circle area to scheme and plot out future plans of action, but also to process these wild harvests. Now, what are wild harvests? Wild harvests are things like this. So this allotment is, I've done most of it, but I've just saved this now. So this, you see all this is dock. Now dock, it has a couple of different harvests at different points in the year. When it first starts coming up in spring, you've got the tender supple leaves, and you can they haven't gone bitter yet, so you can use them as you know, chopped up in your stew, and you get your nutrients and stuff like that, comparable to kale and your spinach. And then later on, when the leaves start going bitter, it's in the rhubarb family, so you can use the stalk to just juice the stalk, and then chuck away the pulp, or make something out of the pulp. You can dry it out in the sun and use that as either compost, or, you know, if you collect enough of it, you can use that as a construction material, insulation, and all sorts of bits and bobs like that. But we've got to this stage now. It's flowered and now it's seeded. So the seeds, there's tons and tons of them. So if we leave this to go, then it'll make this area predominantly dock like it is now. But you can use the seeds, dock seeds, for making flour for crackers, flatbread, and to make it more of a bread that we used to. You chuck in a bit of wheat flour. The thing that it's absent of, and a lot of wild flowers, you can make flour out of plantain seeds, the narrow leaf and the broadleaf plantain. Just chop that up. It's absent of gluten. Now gluten, glue, it binds things together. Now where we got the boat from, we haven't finished we need more helpers. So this is another thing that the Wildcraft Wild Harvest Workdays is for, is for establishing a stable group that activity. We won't just be here. It'll be dependent on the day and the area and the group and the time of year. We'll go out and go and learn and gather these wild harvests. So I'll just show you the process. We've started on the outdoor wild kitchen. So I've just been taking these down. First the dock. So this is the process. You make a little pile, and then I will be making, I say there's another pile of dock there, and then I'll be making some big drying areas to bundle up the different wild harvests. And at the moment they're just spread out on the floor like this. See, there's a lot there, and that would have all just got composted. So I think the drying areas, this is just what we left out. You see, this is cleavers, sticky weed in the coffee family. So if there's a screen underneath there, we can give it a shake and just collect the seeds. But if we're just going to make racks to act as drying areas, and then the green seeds will turn brown, and then we can use them as a flour, and then the stalks can be used for weaving, or just as a quick and easy tinder, or I'm sure there's other uses for it. So it'll, instead of getting a lawnmower and then it all getting bundled into one thing, and then you just chuck it all in your compost, and you know, there's benefit in that, because there's still no waste. You're giving it back to the ecology, like the microbes and the little beasties. But instead of that, we'll separate it, and for education purposes and steps to self-sufficiency, first take out the dock. Then another one that is prolific about here is the nettle, and that's another one. So before the seeds come, you shouldn't harvest it for using as a spinach, the leaves, or tea. Well, you still can, but if there's is it calcium oxalate crystals, I think, it can build up in your kidneys and cause kidney stones. But these seeds, they are an adaptogen and super healthy. You get the female ones. Is there any male close by? There's the male. There. You see how they stick up? And they're the pollen, and then the droopy ones are the pollinated ones. So it's the female that you get. So the second bundle thing will be the nettles, and then there's lots of common hogweed. So we'll bundle all that up. So they all have uses. You see this thistle over there, and every thistle is edible. Because it doesn't need to produce irritating or toxic chemicals, because it's got the spines, so you can juice that and squeeze the juice out of it, and it's really healthy, health promoting sustenance that you could either turn into a brine or even turn into a slightly alcoholic thing, or even get a kombucha going in it. And then the seed heads, you can make a kind of a milk out of them, like a nut milk. So we're just going through, just sorting them out into plant species that all have uses, and that is the aim of the game for the Wild Harvest Workdays on Wednesdays. Every Wednesdays at Wildcraft Wood Herb Committee. Herb Committee is they did exactly that in the wars. If you want to look into that, so it won't just be at this space. It'll be all over Rosendale, and as well as making. Showing how to make what looks like weeds and wild space productive, and it taps into self-sufficiency. Also regenerating areas of land all about Rosendale. So I'll leave it at that. I've been, what we're on, 12 minutes 46. So it's been a long one, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.